We'll be talking about how to overcome the imposter syndrome, right? Because I think anybody who's doing anything, it is subjected to have this imposter syndrome. And I will just wait. We start at 10 a.m. sharp. So we'll just wait until more people are jumping in. Ori, yes, Ori, I think everyone, if you're starting anything new and pretty much within a lifespan, chances are that you will start anew many things. You become a student for the first time, you take a job for the first time, you start a business for the first time, you have a hobby and start cycling or playing guitar or writing a book for the first time. Life is full of firsts, right? Life is actually full of first things. All we do in life is trying new things, right? So imposter syndrome is just that negative voice in your head that is telling you that you are, you don't belong, you are not, you are a fake, you are a phony, you're not for real. Other people know much better than you. But I'll just wait, you guys. So we'll start the live training at 10 a.m. So we have still 3 more minutes. And I just love to say hello. Albraiki, thank you for the follow. IY1Y, hello, good morning. All right, you guys, and I would like to ask you to please be respectful in the comments, because if you are not respectful, I'll just simply mute you. Because this is a okay, thank you, Jumana, thank you, Al-Shama, thank you everyone for the follow. We are here to address the imposter syndrome. Wes, good morning. Jumana, good morning. 27 over, okay, all right. Welcome everyone, my name is Coach Lio, and exactly in 2 minutes we'll start the workshop on how to overcome the imposter syndrome. So I have some notes here, and we will dive right in, because if you are alive, if you are a human being, this is the 3rd time I see you. Heba, wonderful, welcome back. MM7882, thank you for the follow. Thank you guys for the follow. I am Romanian, I'm nor British nor American, so please bear with my accent. From Saudi Athar. So we have 2 more minutes and we'll dive right in. Imposter syndrome. So imposter syndrome is defined as doubting your abilities. So doubting and feeling like a fraud. And this is something that we all experience. I love this part of the world, yes. Can I watch it later? AIY, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, all these videos, I post them on YouTube channel and you can watch it later if you miss it. Okay, can you provide some names of celebrities or successful people who had this in the imposter syndrome? All of them. So the most famous one is the singer Beyonce. I'm sure everybody knows Beyonce. So she has the imposter syndrome so badly that sometimes that even stopped her from going on stage. So many famous people, especially business people, many millionaires, many billionaires constantly have the imposter syndrome. And it's insane, right? We think, oh my God, this person is a billionaire, they have $1 billion company, and they still have the imposter syndrome. Why? Just because they're doing something for the first time. So this is exactly what we're going to talk about. There's 1 minute, we'll stop exactly at 10 a.m. So you guys hang on, because we are going to dive right in. Welcome everyone, XDY. Thank you, G9. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for joining in. My name is Coach Lio, and we'll be talking about the imposter syndrome and how to overcome doubting yourself, because imposter syndrome is nothing but you telling yourself that you don't belong, that you are a fake, that you are faking it. What is imposter syndrome? Very good question. So the imposter syndrome is defined as doubting your abilities and feeling like a fraud. Is that voice in your head when you are doing something for the first time, or you're doing something that you don't have much experience in, that voice in your head telling you that who the hell do you think you are? Other people know better than you. You are just a fraud, and people will find you out, right? Is that fear, is the constant fear while you're doing. We love you, coaching from Algeria. Thank you so much, you guys. All right, so it's 10:01. And you guys, how is different from procrastination? Very good question. And by the way, you guys, before we dive in, there is a link in my bio, and if you sign up on that link, you will get a special cheat sheet on how to overcome procrastination. So if you're jumping in or out, just sign up on the link in bio and you'll get the 3 steps how to delete procrastination. It's my gift to you, absolutely free. You can sign up. All right, it's 10:01 and we're going to dive in. I have notes here, so I will take some questions. If you guys have questions for me, I will take some questions in 15 minutes from now, but for the next 15 minutes, we'll just dive into the topic because I want to honor your time and you are here. I'm not ignoring you in the comments, it's just I want to deliver the most value to you. And before we dive in, or you have to hop off in the middle of the live, go to my profile, the link, sign in, and you'll receive a 3-step blueprint on how to delete procrastination. All right, so what is the imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is just a name. It's just, so it's not, number one, it's not a tagline. It's not, let's say, a sign that something is wrong with you. It's just a name given to a state of doubt, specifically self-doubt. So what is doubt? Doubt is a place where you ruminate over taking decisions. You take so much time to take any kind of decision, and that reflects in the most terrible way in your life. You miss out on the opportunities, you miss out on asking for a promotion, you miss out on starting that business, you miss out on growing that business, you miss out on so many things in life. So imposter syndrome is nothing but very intense self-doubt when you start something new, or when you're doing something that you don't have much experience at. For example, many people, so the most visible, the field that you feel the imposter syndrome most is specifically in business and in jobs, right? And funny enough, we think that only women have the imposter syndrome, but men have an extreme, intense imposter syndrome, especially successful men. So how does that, so you can ask, Lio, how does that sound like? Imposter syndrome is that voice in your head telling you, number one, you are not good enough. Someone will find you out and they will laugh at you, right? Number two is comparing constantly yourself with others. That voice telling you, look, everyone around you is doing all these things and look at you. You are just a joke. Number three is the fear of being wrong. So imposter syndrome is that like obsessive fear. Oh my God, what if I am wrong? People will laugh at me. People will think that I'm a fool. So those are just few ways that you know, so that voice in your head will speak in these languages. So where does the imposter syndrome comes from? So if the funny thing is, if I know somebody who is experiencing imposter syndrome, who doubts themselves, who think that they are a joke, that they don't know what they're doing, I can guarantee you that that person is a high achiever. And you say, well, what do you mean, Lio? If you are in a place where you're experiencing that you feel like a fraud, that you don't know what you're doing, that people will find you out, that you cannot be wrong, but you can be wrong so many times, that tells me that you are in a place where it's outside of your comfort zone. That tells me that you are pushing the limits of your knowledge and the limits of your experiences. So funny enough, if you tell me, Lio, yes, I have the imposter syndrome, I automatically know that you are someone who wants more in their lives. You are someone who does not settle for the comfort zone. You are someone who wants more from this life. So to me, someone with an imposter syndrome as a professional coach, somebody with the imposter syndrome is someone who is on their way to achieve way more that they know they can. So that's number one. So in a way, having the imposter syndrome, it's a sign that you are going to achieve a lot in your life. But you can tell me, Lio, but it doesn't feel that way. It does not feel that way. It feels like I'm the most stupid person in the room. It feels like I am just wasting people's time, right? It feels like I'm taking people's money for nothing. I'm a fraud, I'm a liar, right? Especially if you have your business, if you're starting your business, you might start like you are a liar, you are an imposter, right? And the funny thing about that is that when you start something new, by definition, you should expect that you will be bad at it, right? And it's logical. When you start riding a bike, when you start flying a plane in a simulator, for example, you will be bad. It's a skill that you're not familiar with before, and you are starting from scratch. But the problem is our expectations. Our expectations are telling you what? You should be good at this. You should know everything. You should never, ever, ever be wrong. And it's the most ridiculous thing to tell ourselves. The most ridiculous thing to tell ourselves. And by the way, guys, I'm going to pause here. If you're jumping in and out, go to my profile, click the link, and you will receive a blueprint of how to delete procrastination. So if you're jumping in and out, go to my profile, click the link, and you can subscribe to that. All right. So few things that are ridiculous about the imposter syndrome, right? Is that, remember, imposter syndrome is nothing but a fake voice in your head. It's a fake negative voice in your head. When you start something new, by definition, you should expect to be bad at it. It's the simplest thing in life. When a child starts walking, tries 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 10 times, and they fall over, we don't say, you're stupid, you should know how to walk. What we do is we encourage the child. We say, well done, good job, try again. And then that child, tries 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 times until they know how to walk. But when we're adults, we start something new, what do you say? You're stupid, you're a fraud, you should know everything, you cannot be wrong. How crazy that is. So when do we stop? What happens that we stop treating ourselves with kindness and with support, and we start being this terrible people to ourselves? And it's nothing but the voice in our head, right? Is that voice telling you, you are not good enough, you are not this, you are not that. So the imposter syndrome is nothing but a fake lie in our head that is created from our experiences. Maybe your teacher judged you, maybe your parents judged you, maybe the surrounding judged you, maybe you grow up in an environment where everybody was judgmental of each other, right? So those are things that you hear and you kind of adopt as the reality of what your life is and who you are, right? And that's how this negative voice in your head is created. It is not the reality. It is what you absorb from your environment, and you make it your internal voice, right? It's you make it an internal voice. Let me give you an example. For example, if I am born in Russia, my first language would be Russian. If I were born in the US, my first language would be English, right? But does that mean that I am born as a child, I'm born with the Russian? No, I'm learning. And then I think, okay, I take up on the Russian identity, or I take up on the American identity, right? But as a child, I'm born, as a newborn, I can be anything. Put me in any country, I'll become the citizen of that country. Similarly, with these negative thoughts in your head. Put yourself in a supportive, helpful, encouraging environment. That's what your internal voice will sound like when you're an adult. Put yourself in a judgmental, critical, comparison environment. That's what you're going to grow up with. So we are given these patterns of thinking of how we should think about ourselves. And most of the times they are negative. Why? Because they are not curated. We are not taught to control our thoughts. We are not taught that we can change the way that voice in our head sounds. What we are taught is, what I think, it means that's what I am. Do you follow, guys? So if you follow, if that resonates, give me a like or a heart just for me to understand that you are following, right? Just for me to understand if you're following. And I have some notes here for you guys. Amazing, amazing. I can see that you're following. Okay, so if you're following, I will slowly go into how to overcome the imposter syndrome, how to overcome that feeling. Because guess what? Why is it so important to overcome that imposter syndrome feeling? It's absolutely crucial, because you will become more free to actually take more risks in your career, in your business, in your personal life. You will feel more like you are being yourself, because when you let go of all these silly fears in your head about what other people are gonna think, I'm gonna look like a fool, they're gonna find me out, guess what? You will be more free to follow who you really are. If you like dancing, you say, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna go and dance, even if it's a hobby, whatever. Or you're gonna say, screw my job, I'm just gonna go and start that business that I really wanted. Or you're gonna go and say, you know what, I was dreaming to write this book for a long time, I'm gonna go and do it, right? So you will feel more free to actually go and be yourself. So the benefits are absolutely massive. The third benefit is that you are going to finally make the most of your life and the purpose that you are here. Remember, we are all here for a purpose, you guys, for a purpose, all right? So it is absolutely essential to overcome this fear of feeling like an imposter. And we said imposter syndrome is this feeling of lack of self-belief, always questioning yourself, always being afraid that people will find you out. Thank you so much, MS, for the rose. All this, all this negative chatter in your head. Because guess what? Do you think, so we as people, we think that we're afraid of other people's judgment. But let me tell you a secret. Nobody, no one, not a soul on earth is judging you as harshly, thank you, as harshly as you are judging yourself. Thank you so much, Imam. No one is judging you as harshly as you're judging yourself. And that needs to stop. That type of inner bullying, inner doubt has to stop. And the only person who can do that, it is you. And we are addressing it by starting with the imposter syndrome. How does that sound? All right. So then, how to overcome this? You say, Lio, yes, it's me. Yes, I recognize myself. Yes, I feel like an imposter. I feel like I'm in this job and I don't know anything. And yes, I think that other people are so much smarter than me. Yes, I think that I'm delivering the service and I should not charge money for it because I'm just doing it out of passion, out of fun. How can I charge other people for that, right? So you say, yes, Lio, I recognize myself. But how can I overcome it? Because it's easy for me to talk on this side, but I know I myself suffered from imposter syndrome for most of my life, and I know exactly how it feels, because the weird thing is you understand with your mind that it's crazy to have it, but in your heart is like beating hard, and so you don't know how to overcome it, right? So you say, Lio, yes, I understand from here, but from here I just don't feel it. How can I connect the two, and how can I start unwrapping this imposter syndrome and really start acting from my higher self? So a few things before we set off. Number one, we have to manage our expectations, because when we go to the gym, I don't expect to have a six-pack in one day. I work out one time for 2 hours, finish. I walk away with six-pack. It doesn't exist. I know that I have to go over time, 3, 6, however months. I have to eat healthy. I have to exercise regularly, and I will end up having the six-packs. Similarly goes to your mindset. You see, if you had, and I say in the past, the imposter syndrome, it means you're thinking a certain way for almost all your life. To rewire that, so literally there's a wiring in your brain that believes that you are an imposter, blah, 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 all these negative thoughts. We have to undo that. So basically it's the same as a weak muscle. And I'm not going to show you my tummy because I'm weak. I do not have a six-pack. So it's a weak muscle, and we need to strengthen it. We need to strengthen it the same way as we do with physical muscles. So number one, let's manage our expectations. Let's just say, you know what, this imposter syndrome, I cannot do it anymore. It's very, very terrible. I'm fed up with it, and I have to stop. But then you have to understand, it's going to take some work. It's going to take some time for me to overcome this. I am ready. And you have to tell yourself, no matter how long this will take, I will go for it and I will be ready, okay? And you guys, if you're jumping in and out, please go to my profile. There's a link there and you can sign up and you'll receive a blueprint of how to overcome procrastination. Fantastic blueprint. I use it every day. It's a gift from me to you. All right. So manage your expectations. Say, okay, I'm ready to give it up. I'm ready to go. Another sign. Okay. So what are the signs? So in order for you to say, okay, Lio, but how do I start? But how do I know I have imposter syndrome? So one sign, sure sign that you have imposter syndrome, you really struggle taking decisions. And what I mean by that, you take way too much time to take a decision. You overthink, you overthink, you overthink, you overthink. If this is you, you have the imposter syndrome. That's number one, right? Number two is you struggle from perfectionism. So perfectionism. And guys, I'm gonna fight you on this one. Perfectionism is not a good thing. Many people wear perfectionism as a badge of honor. Oh, I'm a perfectionist. If you are a perfectionist, what I understand is that you are insecure, you are doubting yourself, and you are afraid of other people's judgment. That's what I know. If you're coming and telling me, thank you, Yusuf, for the roast, thank you so much, I appreciate it. If you're coming to me, thank you, PRV, and you say I'm a perfectionist, I know exactly what's going on in your heart. It's not a good thing. It does not mean, thank you, PRV, it does not mean that you are, oh, look at me, I have such high standards. No, it just means that, thank you, PRV, that you are insecure and you are afraid. And guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. But please don't interpret that, thank you so much, PRV, please don't interpret that as a good thing, right? Oh, you can have a high standard, you can have and strive for more, thank you, Yusuf, without all of this, perfectionism, all right? So thank you so much. Thank you, Yusuf, thank you so much. So that, exactly that, let go of the perfectionism. It's not a good thing about you. It's not something good, okay? So those are the sure signs that you have, thank you, Yusuf, so much, that you have the imposter syndrome. So how do we go about starting to release this imposter syndrome? Number one is recognize, say, wow, yeah, I might really have this problem, right? Thank you, Tuti, thank you so much. Thank you, Yusuf. I might really have this problem. It is me. So number one step, as silly as it sounds, is to say, wow, okay, yeah, that's me. Number two is deciding that you want to let go of it. It's like, you know what? I had enough. This does not serve me. This stops me so much from doing the things that I need to do. I'm done. So that's the second step, right? Number three is separate your feelings from your facts, right? And what I advise my clients is create a highlights reel. You know how you have on Instagram or you have on TikTok the feed, and you're curating your feed. You only post the pictures that are filters, that are nice. You post the videos that are beautiful. Do the same for your own life. To counterbalance this horrible negative voice in your head, you need some weight. You need some real stuff to overcome this voice in your head. And what I mean by create a highlight reel of your life. Remember all the moments that you did well. And it's the hardest exercise to do, because as people, we really tend to emphasize what we did wrong, what we did not do enough of, how stupid we are, and we really undermine or never put enough attention on how we did things well. How that you had the courage to start that company in the first place. How amazing you are that you had that idea in the first place. I guarantee you, and I sit this with, and this is the hardest exercise for people to do, which is crazy. If I ask people, what did you do wrong? Where do you think you're not good enough? My God, I can, for the next 2 hours, I can listen them criticizing themselves. But when I ask people, but tell me, what can I celebrate for you? What is it that you are proud of yourself for? They freeze. And it's crazy. People freeze when I ask them to praise themselves, right? So the number 3 point in overcoming the imposter syndrome, you absolutely have to sit with yourself and honestly just take a notebook, okay, and sit and force yourself to write a highlight reel of your life. Write all the things that you did well. And it might sound like a silly exercise, but you need that weight to overcome the imposter syndrome. And the funny thing is, once we start unpeeling and unveiling all the good things, I am shocked at what how amazing people really are, but how much they underestimate themselves, okay? So, number 4, and what we're doing is the steps of overcoming the imposter syndrome, right? And if you're missing out on this, you guys, I'll be posting this video on my YouTube channel. Tuti, thank you so much. So make sure to subscribe. All the info in my bio. All right. Next, you have to accept that you will be wrong. Again, managing your expectations. When you are learning a new skill, when you are starting a new thing. Okay, so there's a funny thing. I read this article with this billionaire lady. She's a founder, Potpourri or something like that, a company, billionaire. One of the top 7 self-made ladies billionaires in the world, okay? So a coach asked her, she said, what do you think about the imposter syndrome? This lady is a billionaire, remember, she made her own company. And she said, I don't have the imposter syndrome. I am the imposter because as my company grows, as my businesses grow, I am always in a place where I never was before. So by definition, if you're growing or learning in whatever you're doing, you are in some way an imposter because you've never been before. But if you've never been there before, it doesn't mean that you don't belong there, right? That will equal to if I never been to Japan. And if I go to Japan for my first time, right? And I go to Japan and I'm learning all these things. Should I call myself stupid that I don't know this about Japan or that about Japan before even traveling there? No. What we call it adventure. You go and learn about this country, about those people. It's like, wow, an adventure. But when it comes to business, when it comes to passions, when it comes to career, we call ourselves stupid, right? So you see what kind of a biased double thinking we have. It's just absolutely not fair, okay? All right, you guys. So the next thing is recognize that you will be wrong, especially when you're doing something for the first time, building a business, creating a product, starting a book, becoming a parent even. My God, tell me about parenting and imposter syndrome. Crazy, right? Accept that it's okay for you to be wrong. Because what happens is people are so terrified, they're so blocked about, oh my God, what if I'm wrong? And they see this as a wall that they're going to smash themselves into and crush. Okay, that's how they see. That's why people stop. So the imposter syndrome wins and they just give up. That's it. That's what happens, right? But then, thank you, Zizi. But then when we think, let's just think about this. When you think, well, I'm starting this new thing, of course I'm going to be wrong, and multiple times. And of course I will fail multiple times. But that doesn't mean that failure or me being wrong is just a wall or a bump in my road. You see, you know how these bumps are in the road? You go to residential areas and they have like little bumps for you to slow down and you go over them and you continue. How does that sound? What if this fact that I might fail, I might be wrong, I might not be as good enough, I might be mediocre when I start, I might be bad when I start. But you see it as bumps in the road instead of seeing the wall that you're going to crash into and fall. Okay? All right? So that's what's important about that. It's important for you to remember that you should expect to be bad, you should expect to be mediocre, you should expect to be wrong, and that's totally fine. Absolutely fine. Okay, and you guys, I'll take questions in 5 minutes, so I don't ignore you in the chat. I just want to go through this because I respect all the people that are here from 10 a.m. And if you missed this, you can rewatch this on my YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe, and the questions I'll be taking in exactly 4 minutes. Okay, so that's how you go about in overcoming the imposter syndrome. All right, okay. Write the rules. Okay, set some goals, because what I see high achievers do, they're in a constant pursuit of the next goal, which is amazing. We all want to be achievers, and I work with high achievers, with founders, CEOs, tech entrepreneurs. By definitions, these are my clients, right? But what is important to do is to set yourself some rules and some flag posts, right? For example, if I am on a world tour and I say, I'm going to walk the earth from Dubai all around the globe and back to Dubai. Okay, cool. So it's going to take me 5 years. Fine. Okay. So imagine if you set off on this journey from Dubai to walk all around the globe and come back to Dubai. And as you walk for the next 5 years, every day you will say, oh, I'm a failure, I'm not there yet. When I'll be there yet? How much do I have? Like, for the next 5 years, beating yourself up until you get back to Dubai. How insane would that be? It's crazy. You're going to end up in a ditch with a panic attack and anxiety and depressed and everything else. You probably will make it to Abu Dhabi, but that's it. Instead, when you set on a journey, and the equivalent is when you start a new business, when you start a book, when you start a new skill, when you start a new job, when you start a new career, when you become a parent, whatever new things you start, you say, okay, I'm starting this journey. I'm very cognizant and aware that is going to be very hard. I'll fail many times. I'll be wrong many times. But anytime I have a small milestone, I commit to celebrate. So the equivalent to going on this global journey, if I get to Abu Dhabi, I will celebrate. Then if I go to Oman, I celebrate. Then if I go to Qatar, I celebrate. Then I do this, I celebrate. So in order for you to overcome the imposter syndrome, you have to set the clear rules and small steps that you can take. And most importantly, you absolutely have to celebrate yourself, okay? Because that negative voice will tend to overcome the positive voice. So we always have to be aware for that negative voice not to overcome the positive voice, right? Does it make sense, you guys? Does it make sense so far? Tell me, what is it that you are taking away so far? And last but not least, the most important ingredient in overcoming this imposter syndrome is to really be kind to yourself. And this is something that so many high achievers especially, and I'm talking about people who've achieved already so much in their lives, they struggle being kind to themselves. They treat themselves as this vehicle who has to be pushed, who has to do more, who has to deliver more, who has to create more, who has to do more, right? You have to be kind to yourself. Treat yourself with kindness, all right? So those are a few things that I shared on the imposter syndrome. And if you are just joining, this was a workshop on what is imposter syndrome and how to overcome it. And if you missed this, go into my profile, you have my YouTube link, you can subscribe, and I'll publish this later today. And now I'll be taking the questions. And if you guys, again, if you're jumping in or out or off, make sure in the link in my bio, you can subscribe and you'll receive a 3-step blueprint how to overcome procrastination. It's something I use every day in my coaching for myself and with my clients. It's my gift from me to you guys to really help yourself set on that journey, because I really believe you really can achieve anything you desire. All right, and now I'll be taking questions, you guys. So I'll be going up. What are we talking about the imposter syndrome? It was a half an hour coaching session about the imposter syndrome. If you missed it, please go to my link, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll post this there so you can rewatch it again. All right, so I'll just look if there are any questions for now. Okay, okay, what's imposter syndrome? All right, so for those who are just joining, imposter syndrome is just a second, I have notes here, you guys, so then I give you. So the imposter syndrome is the self-doubt that you can achieve something, and is that feeling like you feel like you are a fraud, you feel like you are fake, you are faking it, and you should not be in the place where you are. That's what imposter syndrome is, right? Can you suggest healthy way of celebration? That's a fantastic question, Heba. So as we said, once you set off on your journey, on learning something new, starting something new, make sure you set goalposts and you celebrate. What I suggest, take control over what celebration means to you. Again, what happens is, depending on different cultures that we come from all over the world, right? We're blessed, we live in Dubai, people from everywhere. Now, what I invite you to do is to, the word I'm looking for is to revise what celebration means to you. Because culturally, we might pick up some things that are culturally accepted from wherever we're coming from, but they're not serving you. To give you an example, I'm Romanian, and things are celebrated. So a couple of years ago, I stopped drinking alcohol in general. Not that I was drinking a lot before, but I said, it doesn't serve me. And what I realized in my mind, why it was hard for me to do that, is because in my culture, when people celebrate, they will have a glass of champagne. And champagne was associated with celebration. But then when I stopped drinking, I felt like something was missing. And then I realized that this type of celebration does not serve me. So I stopped that. So the way I celebrate, I go for a walk. I decide what type of celebrations actually help me, and I include it in my celebration lists, going for a walk. So I go to the beach, I go anywhere. So that is, choose what celebration are serving you and use just that. All right, I hope does it make sense. Hello, and thank you everyone for following me. Okay, so I have another question. Does appearance have an effect on our success? Okay, so that's a very, very good and challenging question, because part of my brain says the first impression matters. We people are creatures that we make micro judgments in milliseconds. However, for the people that matter to you and will respect you, the appearance absolutely does not matter at all. And most importantly, right now, we live in an era of globalization, internet. People work from all over the place in a global company, and they live all over the planet. Less and less appearances matter, especially in this interconnected and online world. And my answer to you, do appearance matter for success? I say absolutely not. So check out Nick Vojevich, I think, Vojevich, or something, Nick Vujicic, Australian. So he's an Australian motivational speaker. So this is a guy who has no hands, and he's just a body, right? It's unbelievable how inspirational he is. He's extremely successful. He runs 3 companies. And if you're telling me if he can make it, he does not have hands. He literally does not have legs, does not have hands. He has a family, he has many businesses. He's doing really well. If he can make it, I don't care how you look, you can make it too. Okay? So that's, okay, to help us through the imposter syndrome. Hebaya, what do you mean by that? What to ask specifically from our support circle? Oh, okay, I see. So what to ask specifically from our support circle to help us through the imposter syndrome? That's a very good question. Again, I think you just have to ask for non-judgment, right? You just have to say, you guys, I know you might have judgments over this, and right now, I know you might want to protect me and help me from not being hurt, from not going into trouble. But for now, I would love to ask you to please don't give your opinions unless I'm asking you to, right? Ask them not to share their judgments. That's it. Say, all I need from you right now is just support. Say, go. And please give your opinions when I'm asking. That's it. Just ask them not to give their opinions, not to judge. Because through their opinions, what they do, yes, they are concerned, they love you, they don't want you to get hurt. But what they do, they put their fears on you. And that might stop you from your journey. Okay, I hope this helps. All right, you guys, let me see what other questions we have. And if you have any questions, please post them in the Q&A because that's easier to monitor, okay? Okay, so how is it different from procrastination? The question is from Abi Attack. That's a very good question as well. So procrastination means you are in the comfort zone, and so it's a little bit different from imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome, you're actually in the middle of action. Procrastination, you didn't even start. Imposter syndrome, you started that job, you started that business, you started that book. But then in the midst of it, while you're doing it, you're doing on the anxiety level 100. Because everything, the software in the back of your head running says, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, they're going to find you out, they're going to find you out. But you're doing things. But your anxiety level is at 100 and 1,000. Procrastination, you did not even start. You're on your couch, you're just thinking about it. So that's the difference. So actually, I'd rather imposter syndrome than procrastination. But the imposter syndrome can induce procrastination, but you're still taking action. So people who experience imposter syndrome, they would procrastinate, but somehow they will still take action. Procrastination is pure thinking about it and not taking action. So that's what I would say the difference is. All right, how to start a business if I'm scared to fail? Fantastic, Jill, point 21. And that's exactly my specialty. So I love the question because I'm happy to answer. All right, so how to stop a business if I'm afraid to fail? Let me break it to you. You will fail. What, Leo, you're a coach, you're supposed to encourage me. No. I'm a coach, but I'm a realistic coach. I'm a coach that wants you to succeed long term. And if you're starting a business, according to statistics, what is it? 99.99% of businesses fail after 10 years, something like that. You will fail. It is guaranteed that you will fail. But a failure, it's not the catastrophic event that blocks you. And again, it's not that what is a failure. A failure is not that wall that you jump and crash and burn. A failure is just a bump in the road. What you do is you overcome it, you overcome it, you overcome it, you overcome it. Because starting a business or being an entrepreneur, it's not about being rich. It's not about, you will eventually, if you're good at it, you will become wealthy and you will have the freedom that you want. But entrepreneurship is, by definition, learning how to overcome failure after failure after failure after failure. Right? So before starting your business, work on your mindset, work on the relationship with failure, make peace with the fact that you will fail multiple times, and do it anyway, right? You answer a questions and not on your live. Yes, Scary, but you can go into questions and post the questions. These are all questions that were posted just now, okay? So I'm going to take, but that's a very good point. I'll take some questions from the live as well. Very good point. Thank you so much. Okay, let me just scroll up and I'm going to take some questions from the chat right now. Most of yours are Arab. Please speak Arabic. I'm so sorry, I don't speak Arabic, so I really apologize. I'm hopeless at that. And my imposter syndrome can say, hey, you're not Arabic, you should be speaking, but I'm not Arabic, I don't speak it. So sorry, you guys. Sometimes I feel not good in my work. What did I do? But what is the reason that you don't feel good? What is it that you are feeling? I'm talking about the imposter syndrome. There are our viewers who see it wrong because of his hatred for us. Moon, I totally agree with you. There are people who will be haters. And by the way, if you have haters, congratulations. It means you're doing something right. But you have to overcome your own. So the problem is not the haters, is what is it that you think about yourself at having haters. So you have to make peace with it, move on, and focus on your own thing. Okay, so one more question. How do I maintain my mood during the day? right? How do I maintain my mood? So I assume, how do I maintain my positive, energetic mood? I assume. All right. So the way, now we go into the mechanics, right? So that was, we talked about the strategy, about the imposter syndrome, how to overcome it, what to do. And now we go into the tools, right? Day to day, how can I keep my mood up in order for me to be aware that this is the imposter syndrome and to keep myself positive. And the way you're going to do that is by monitoring your energy. So energy is the key to everything, because when I am full of energy, I can control my focus. Where is my attention? Where is my attention? Where is my attention? So the way you keep your mood up through the day is by monitoring your energy, number one, and by monitoring your state. What I mean by that, look at me. When I catch myself sitting like this, right? And most people sit like that because they're on their phones like that, okay? Right? And you know, what's happening to my energy here? What's happening? My energy is down. I'm draining my energy, right? What kind of decisions will I take from this place? Very bad decisions, very poor, small decisions, not with a vision. When I employ my body and say, I need to take a decision. This is a defense mode. This is a reactive mode. This is a fearful mode. Nothing good will come out of this, right? So you have to monitor your physiology and you have to monitor your energy. That's how you keep your mood up. It's in your hands. Don't expect anybody to come and pump you up or cheer you up. In your hands. Now when I'm noticing is like, oh, no, this is not good. I'm raising my body. I'm putting my shoulders back. I'm putting my head up. I'm closing my eyes. I take a few deep breaths. Wow, imagine what decisions I can take from a place of alignment. So in order for you to keep your mood up, keep your body up, keep your shoulders straight, keep your vision high. That's how you will take different decisions from this place. It's very, very simple. And I know those are is Lio, this is so simple. Yes, so simple to think, but so very few people actually do it. So control your physiology, all right? What is the key to success in the business? Good question. So key success is, number one, the most important thing is, how do you see your relationship with failure? Do you think it's a catastrophic event, or do you just think it's a bump in the road? When you master this relationship with failure, it's inevitable that you will succeed. Number two is being humble and remembering that you cannot build it alone. You will need people around you. So have a beginner's mindset, be coachable, seek mentors, coaches, trainers, employees that know what they're doing. You can't do this alone, okay? Don't put yourself in a cave. Don't isolate yourself. You will need other people in order for you to succeed. And number three, leadership skills. Because if you're starting a business, inevitably you will hire other people in your business, and you absolutely have to put as a key target for yourself as the founder of the business to become a leader and learn how to be a good leader. Now, leadership is not something anybody was born with. Maybe we have tiny inclinations here and there, but it doesn't matter. It's just like riding a bicycle. You can learn to become a good leader, but that requires a whole lot of humility, a whole lot of say, screw it, I'm gonna make mistakes, I'm gonna make faults, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, so that's thank you Mimati, thank you so much. I'm so sorry I don't speak Arabic. It's terrible, and I really apologize, you guys. But again, I can let my imposter syndrome suffocate me now, say, oh my god, there's so many people, I don't speak Arabic. But I say, well, I'm not perfect, right? Nobody is, so it's okay. I feel called out, Jill. In what way? I'm curious. All right, you guys. So I'm just going to take a few more questions. Good morning from Morocco. Good morning, Rashida. Wonderful. And I apologize if I read your names incorrectly, because it's okay, I'm gonna take a few more questions. And you guys, by the way, I have a gift for you. If you go, you're awesome, Yusra. Thank you so much for being here. So nice to see you here. And by the way, you guys, I have a gift for you. If you go into my link, into my bio, there's a link. Click that, and you will receive for free a blueprint, 3-step blueprint, how to delete procrastination. And this is my gift for you. So I hope you do that. You can also follow me on YouTube, Instagram. All the links are in my bio. Good morning, Sir Rami. Good morning, everyone. So also, you guys, let me see what are the questions we can address. How can I not let past experiences affect me? Okay, so how not to let past experiences affect your present? Very, very good question. And I'll answer that with a quote that I heard somewhere. I did not come up with this. I heard somebody very smart once said that, experience without emotion is wisdom. I'll say that again. Experience without emotion is wisdom. So the way of you not letting the past affecting you is not erasing your past, because we can't undo the past. There's so many people that went through the most horrible things as children. My heart goes out really for people who as children went through war. And in this region, unfortunately, some places this is just the reality. My heart goes out for people who as children went through abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, abuse by not being loved, by being ignored. People who as children suffered loss of their parents. Those are horrible things to experience as a child, absolutely horrible. And we cannot erase them, right? So that's why I see people, no, erase the past. No, you can't. Things like that are unerasable. You can't erase that, right? But what you can do is, we don't have to erase, because even though those are terrible things, somehow they contributed for you to become the person who are you today. So instead of erasing the events, what we can do, the best thing is to go back and to heal those things. And it's a painful process, I'll be honest with you. It's nothing pleasant, but it's the most absolutely necessary thing to do. Your responsibility as an adult human being is whatever happened to you in the past. Not to go and blame and feel like a victim and drag it around your life and make it sip into your identity, because this happened to me, this is who I am for the rest of my life. No. Your responsibility is to actually say, wow, all these horrible things did happen, but I'm an adult now. It's my responsibility to do whatever it takes for me and to heal those things. And once healed, you can go then and look back to what happened, but don't feel that pain anymore. So what you're basically healing, you are healing the pain. And once that healed, and let me tell you another thing. Regardless what happened to you, anything can be healed. Anything. There's nothing that you cannot heal. It will be there. You can't erase it, but there's nothing in this world, whatever happened to you in the past, that you cannot heal and fix that pain. Okay? Just so you know, you guys. And I know that this is, this is hard, but it's just the reality, right? It's just the reality. All right. How you grow up, you're happy. I feel hopeless. Please tell me. Okay, Faiza, I totally resonate with your comment, because my journey started about 13, 14 years ago. And I was very miserable. That's why I'm always make sure to share with you guys, because whatever right now, the way I am, I feel that was not me 13, 14 years ago. I think I was depressed even. And I think the biggest blessing for me at that time was the fact that I hit the rock bottom. So I literally fell apart, right, as a human being. And from there, slowly, I started searching. And it took me years to become happy. So Faiza, what I can say is that you say, wow, I'm helpless, I need help. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say, I had enough, I'm gonna change. And it's okay to say, whatever years, however long time is gonna take me, I'm just gonna pursue this becoming happy. right? Ask for help, Faiza. Seek, connect with people who can help you overcome your unhappiness. It is possible. That's what I would advise you, right? All right. I'm just looking at the... Okay, I can see a comment here, and I'm sorry, guys, I'm just reading the English comments because that's what I can read. That is not... Okay, I'm just gonna look. Thank you so much. Absolute pleasure, XYUAKARI. And you guys, if you missed the workshop, it was about the imposter syndrome. So we have a good workshop, I believe. And if you missed it, in the link in my channel, you can subscribe to my YouTube, and I'll be posting this later today, so you can revise this live. Also, there is another link in my bio, and that is a blueprint on how to overcome procrastination. 3 steps that I use for myself and for my clients as well. So I'm gonna check for more comments, whatever. Let me see if I can have any questions. How can I overcome my overthinking? Semo, if you missed this training, please rewatch it, because I specifically speak about overthinking. So make sure to subscribe to my YouTube. I'll be publishing this later today, and you can watch it. I already talked about this, and you are the lucky person to watch it. How about feeling like everyone is conspiring on you? Okay, wow, ISR, I think it's not a happy place to be. There is a term called self-inflicted loneliness or selective loneliness. So it's exactly when people feel like the world is against them, and they kind of isolate in the shell and, you know, keeping themselves away. So most probably is that they're not conspiring against you, but you feel, because you're judging yourself, you think that they're judging you the same way. So I would say there must be some healing to be done, some work to be done onto why you feel like you cannot relate to other people. On what level did you decide that you're not good enough, and you kind of projecting that on other people? That's what I think it might be happening. Okay, so just get curious about that, and you might want to dive into that and see why you experience that. Is it safer to start with a common project business? Okay, Gilles, one thing about the business I'll say, because starting a business is hard. It's the most exhilarating and exciting and amazing thing you will ever do in your life, but it's hard. That's why the number one thing when starting a business, obviously you need the business skills, you need to be open to learning how to build a business. But the number one thing I would say, make sure that whatever you start the business on, it's something that it's your absolute obsession and passion. Because when that thing, it's your passion and obsession, even when times are hard, you won't care. You will still push on. You will overcome those difficulties. You will be ready to do things that you don't love doing just because you want to continue. Make sure whatever business you start is something that you love doing. And even if people say, oh, Lio, but I don't know what my passion is. Pick at least an interest that is powerful to you, that means something to you. Don't just do things for doing things, because when things will be hard, that's not going to pull you through. So you have to have a strong why. So project, product, service, it doesn't matter. What matters is how passionate and how obsessed, so to speak, are you about this project, okay? Amazing. Okay, so I'm just going to look for questions, you guys. That's what I'm doing. Good morning, Moreni. Welcome. And this was a workshop on the imposter syndrome. And if you guys missed it, you can actually go on to my profile and you can subscribe to the YouTube and you can rewatch it. Also, there's a link in my bio and you... Hey guys, I'm sorry for a second. So what I mean is I'll have to jump off in 5 minutes. If you have any more questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll be super grateful if you can follow me and turn on the notification. I will be going live tomorrow, no, Tuesday. Yes, tomorrow I will be going live. So Wednesday and Thursday I'll be going live as well. I really appreciate you all, and I don't take your time lightly. I want to thank you for being here. your presence and participation here means everything to me, and that's why I'm doing it because you are here, because you matter, and because I know that this will help you and will help people around you. So I appreciate you for being here. Thank you for following me on TikTok, on YouTube. Thank you for subscribing on the link in my bio. You will receive my gift from me to you. 3 steps how to overcome procrastination. And I really, really look forward to seeing you again. Have an amazing day ahead. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.